That center is owned and by NHEF. That is a group, registered non-for-profit group foundation in Minnesota. And here in Liberia, their mission is actually to help recover people from drugs, alcohol, and other addictions. They do a lot of work as they try to, take recovering addicts through the halfway house program. So this facility here is the halfway house, and the recent drugs, when it comes to this, I call it a slur now, this Zogo word that has been tagged to our brothers and sisters. One Liberian from the United States of America has come to give these guys some hope, to give our Zogo brothers some hope. His name, Richie Leo Polu. He is the executive director of this particular halfway house right here. And in there, you're going to have clinicians, you're going to have doctors, different kinds of folks, psychiatrists, and all of that. But this is a pilot. He built this from the floor up. But this is a pilot of what is expected to be replicated all across the country. A young Liberian, and when I say young, he's maybe in his early 50s or his late 40s, and he's placed this facility. Don't mind all the balloons and all of the stuff you see here. Today they will be starting in few hours, but let's get to it. Hey,
how are you, sir?
My big brother Richard.
Yes,
how are
sir.
you? How's everything?
Let me put this down.
Yeah, you gotta lose that.
I know.
How's everything?
Everything is going great. We are here in Liberia trying to, you've been kind of pushing us to push the needle, at least positively, to see how we can work with individuals that hold the future of this country. We're talking about rehabilitation. We're talking about people that we think this country is going to be laying right in their lives. Who are they today? We call them Zogos. No, they are part of the fabric of Liberia community. So we are here to kind of showcase that, this is a Collider Belfield Rehabilitation Center. We want to just dedicate this for women, because women are more kind of more vulnerable
when it comes to drugs.
Yes. In fact, they have to do a lot of things to get drugs. They go through prostitution, they go through being abused.
As far as selling their babies.
Yes, I heard that too. So it is a critical part of our program, rehabilitation. We also have the agriculture sector that kind of help us to raise local food, to be able to give local food to those that are going through the rehabilitation program. And then our educational, of course, fabric. When the idea of this rehab center or halfway house come about? It started, I would say, way back when I was, a trauma counselor with UNICEF, way in Bombay. And then I remember Mary telling me her story, watching her friend being raped and killed. And Mary never told me that story until she and her boyfriend were in the same group. And then, of course, because of that rape situation, Mary could not, be intimate with her boyfriend, and there was a crisis. So after that group section, and I got to know that Mary was afraid because that rape situation and the killing of her friend in her presence,
that trauma.
The trauma was so heavy. And so when we got through with that project, through CODA, I knew that after the war is done, we'll have more crisis. And so after I spent some time in the U.S.
You were ahead of the it, boy.
Yes. So after I spent some time in the U.S., worked there as a psychiatry associate, as a rehab worker as well.
That's the work you do in the States?
Yes, that's what I do. I've been doing that for the past 15 years.
So it's a case of I go there, I learn it, I bring it back home.
Kind of, but also we cannot copy and paste.
Right.
I know that we have, international board, very integrated. We have both whites.
This organization?
Yes.
Wow.
We have, international board from whites, from African American. We have Liberians on this international board, trying to just kind of, see how we can raise money to
What
get
is
this.
the most devastating thing, or that one thing that spiked your ego, or that that led you to say, no, I gotta go home, put boots on the ground,
Yeah.
open a halfway house,
Yeah.
start a pilot. If it works,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna replicate all across the country.
Absolutely. When you look at Liberia, where do we go from here? That's the question I ask. If we have, a lot of people going through being Zogo, giving birth to Zogis or whatever. Okay, so they're replicating themselves. So
Yeah,
unless you have
that
passion,
circle has to stop.
yeah. So how do we, fill in that gap that the next generation will be able to be more productive, more citizens that can give back to the society? We will have to start treating them as human beings, start to begin caring for them, and just giving them the help that they need, because they are human beings, and really they are good people. The war have just had a lot of effect on their lives. Of course, before the war.
Liberians are more on the laying blame side versus who fixes the problem. Which side are you on? Which side of this coin are you fix of the problem, or you lay blame? And if so, who do you apportion it to?
Problems in the society is not one man fix it all. It's not a government thing. I don't believe it's a government thing to fix all the problems, because the government cannot fix my head.
The people.
Government cannot, he cannot fix my head. He cannot help me to think right. They may give me some money.
This is something.
Yeah.
This is something.
But what we need to do is a community initiative. We have to build a consensus among ourselves. Not only as Liberians, but as lovers of this country. This country is one of the richest, smallest country in the world. Nothing really we need to go out there for. And from what I see, the reason why we're doing agriculture is because we can grow anything and eat it.
Okay, let's go out there, and then we can sit there and work our interview. So that's Richard there talking. First, so Richard, first introduce your who these folks are, and then we're gonna come back to the interview.
Yeah, so this is Judy, pastor, because she's a spiritual person, and she's the national director for the organization.
That's Judy.
Yeah.
Who next? Pastor Judy.
And this is Pastor Sam, from another organization, but he worked with us to kind of get it to this point.
Okay.
He's like, I was the one of the brains behind this.
That quarterback.
No, he actually doing the program here for men, but this is for women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and we go to.
And this is Ivy. Ivy is a trailblazer when it comes to the bush. Don't look at her like that and think that she's very sick. No, if you enter with her on the agriculture field,
Okay.
and she'll talk more about herself, but I follow her on the farm, and I was left behind.
So she's feeding the
Not with
nation.
the knowledge,
Right.
not with the knowledge, but she is very acquainted with the bush.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll go to Cutie Pie right here.
Yeah. This is, of course, is very familiar. She is Cindy, and this is a nurse clinician, mental health clinician.
Okay.
Of course, we cannot run this program without someone that is
and she's the person that I got a couple of questions for.
Yeah, so that is the host for this program.
Where are we when it comes to mental health in this country?